This might be the most practical and sensible boat that I've had on the channel. So she's incredibly practical to operate, and she's perfect for swinging into super shallow spots like this and picking the most scenic locations. So why can we do that? It's because we've got 1 meter of draft, and our shaft drive diesel with propellers is protected by keels. I'm going to show you a little 3D model we have of that a little bit later. So ladies and gents, this is the Scimitar 1010. So this is an Australian brand. They've built somewhere near, Dave, was it 70 of these boats? So there's about 70 of these already in operation, mostly in Australia. And yeah, they're back. So that's quite an interesting story. We're going to cover that in a little bit more detail later in the video. And yes, because you're watching Dan's Boat Life, I'm Dan Jones. Hi, we're going for a drive. So that's going to be a separate video to this. So if you are seriously interested in one of these vessels and you want to get a deeper understanding into your life and how the operation of this boat would be, that's going to be the video for you. So right now we're going to focus on touring the boat, and there's also another version. We are on the Weekender, but it can be done same hull in a platinum version. So we will actually be touching on that one later in the video for those of you who get a little bit more bougie in life, I guess. Anyway, I really am beginning to understand this in great detail. We've been on the boat for a couple hours so far. We're at Peel Island in Moreton Bay in Queensland. So we had to cruise across the bay to get here, and no nonsense is the theme that keeps coming to mind. I've done a lot of boating, and I think those of you who are looking at this as an option have probably done a bit of boating, or you're at least doing a lot of research into how you want to spend your time on that boat. And if you are someone who does want to spend a lot of time on the water and maybe less time maintaining a boat, then you should pay attention to this boat. I think that's one of the takeaways that we're going to learn from today. But let's just explore the space. Just feel how much space we have out in this back deck here. So imagine what you can do with this area. I've been told some of the owners have had some flip-up tables out here. A lot of people are doing fold-out directors type chairs and teak tables as well. But it's really, this space is your blank canvas. I think that's the whole idea of having all this extra space. We have really deep lockers in here. I've actually got my bag, so come in and have a look at that. I've got my my luggage in there. We've got a tool bag and a few other bits and pieces. But for those of you that want to install a generator, yes, you can do the old-fashioned marine genset, water-cooled, expensive option. But you could also just do a cheap little Honda Jenny and just stick it in there, and they can actually vent it out, and you can run that off the petrol that you use for your tender. So isn't that interesting? But you don't even have to have Jennies on these boats. They're totally suitable for a big solar array and a lithium battery setup. So you really need to have a good, hard, long think about how you intend on using a boat like this, and then the answers to what generator, no generator, solar panels, and wait until we start talking about the tender options. That's when the answers for those will come to you. So a little bit of protection overhead here. The Flybridge finishes just here, so that's giving us a little bit of sun protection. I've got some lighting above here. No nonsense window setup, so just sliding glass, big opening door just here, and you've got grab handles to hold on and go forward. Now, if you're a bit older, you might need a little step here if you've got dodgy knees. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, for the rest of us, it's super simple. Boom, boom. And then you've got another grab handle just here to go forward. We'll do that in a sec because I got more that I want to show you just here. So I'm just going to point out that this is the engine access. We're going to come and jump in here later on in the video. And then on both port and starboard, we've got deep storage. So this goes in and forward. So really a lot of stuff that you can do with this. This is actually your gas locker in this one with more space. So you can put 2 gas bottles in there for sure. And being a catamaran, we have 2 water tanks and 2 diesel tanks. So your water in is just there. And what's this one? Is that diesel?
Waste.
Oh, that's waste out. There you go. Okay, that's for a fender, and that's for your securing the boat with the cleat there. So diesel must be forward midships, just there, just near the engine ventilation. Is this town water?
Gas bayonet.
Oh, that's your gas bayonet. Okay, for the Barbie. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. You could do just a good old Weber and stick it up here rather than going for the expensive marine option. Okay, so come inside and let's just check this out. Now, I think from here we're going to go straight up to the Flybridge because that's where it's the most pleasurable place to drive this boat. But you can also option it to drive from downstairs. So if you're in a colder climate or even southern Australia, that might be of interest to you. But we've got this L-shaped lounging area here, a no-nonsense fixed table, and you can see how much space we have. It's quite a high seat, so they've actually got a little footrest for people like myself, and all the way underneath here is deep storage. So that's going to be great for some of your long-term storage. This is the opening window setup we have again, and underneath here is the battery. So that's going to be your house batteries. Underneath here, they're a couple of big 120 amp hours, and you can see we've got some fire extinguishing and EPIRB just there. So the crank batteries for the motors are next to each engine. We're going to check them out a little bit later. Now, refrigeration, you have a few options. So if you're just doing essentially using the weekender for its namesake, weekending, you may only find that this is all you need. You might have an esky out the back and bring some ice and use this as your only fridge. However, quite a few owners have done extra custom fridge setups out the back. So that is possible. Again, you just need to think about how you're going to be using the boat, and then you can design a setup that suits you and then the power that is required to make it all operate. So in terms of our panel for turning on the house power, that's in here. So just pass me the camera, I'll show you guys. It's all very neatly done. And that's your house battery switch. You can see your tankage as well. Get in behind the electronics there. And that's your switching for your 12 volts. So it's all pretty no nonsense. And over on the port side, we've got an L-shaped galley. But again, I just want you to try and appreciate the amount of space we have to play with here. So if you're entertaining large groups, if you've got a family and you're doing some serious day boating or spending a long amount of time on the water, you've just got another blank canvas to do with what you wish. So I think it's kind of cool. But just a big amount of workspace here. We've saw the gas, so we've got a 3-burner cooker just here, and that just folds up. And then we've got some 240 there. That's going to be shore power or genset. And we've got a deep sink here. So that one's just a little face, but these ones are all opening. So lots and lots of storage. As you see, we've got the drawer in here, and then the same again on this side. So that's, you know, that's like what you would see in an apartment block. So the accommodation, we've actually got the master forward on port, and then we've got the guest cabin. We have 2 singles. We're going to get to that because I want to show you the Flybridge because it is possibly the most enjoyable place to be. You get the best views. Now, factor in, it's not internal stairs, it is a ladder. The angle of the ladder is quite safe for most people, but if you are, you know, like I said, if you are dodgy on your feet, they have got a solution for you. That solution is a sedan version. So you don't have to have this Flybridge where you drive from up top. You can actually have a helm station down here on the starboard side. So that is possible. Then you don't have to be doing this. So just factor that into your considerations. Come up here, and then that would obviously facilitate a lot of solar if that's important to you and you want to go that direction, totally can do. But just check this out. Look where we are. Like, this could be you. And could just pay attention to where all the boats are. See how they're all about 100 meters that way? That's because most of them are hanging keels or stern drives across the back, and we are not. And we are 1 meter draft, and we can sit on the sand. If you don't have to go anywhere, if you're not in a rush, you can literally just dry this boat out. It's not a problem. The propellers are totally protected. It's been designed to do that. So I think it's really giving you some options, particularly all around Australia. I can just think of so many places where that's going to be of use to you. So the way this has been designed, it's so you're not lonely. Because have any of you taken, I know I have, those charter sailing cats with a Flybridge, and you end up having, if you're sailing, you end up being really lonely because all your friends are downstairs and you're the only one up on the Flybridge sailing. This caters to a social environment in the tropics, so it's really, really nice. I'd say we got some storage. Oh yeah, come and have a look at the storage. So this will be perfect for all the life jackets. Lots and lots of space underneath here, and same again on each one. So they've got hard-backed cushions. Lots and lots of usable space up the top here, and this area right here is another possible location for tender storage. We'll talk about that later in the video. We're just doing a regular bimini. It's quite well secured, so it's not going anywhere. It's got some cross wires just there. You will be able to leave that up in the wind, and then on the platinum version you can have the hard top. But come in and have a look at the helm, because this is another like practical, no nonsense feature, which I quite like. All our electronics and navigation is under here, okay? So you just got to do that, and boom, and happy days. So no having to put covers on, just drop it in, get it out of the way, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So we've got our flat screen multifunctional display, we've got our Garmin, we've got our bilge controls, this is our engine controls, that's your windlass up and down, couple of phone chargers. What more do you need? That's your actual VHF receiver just there. This is your Morse controls for the throttle, steering, hydraulics. That's just the aerial for the VHF. Not much else to it. Seat for skipper and navigator. Plenty of usable space. I see speakers on either side. And once again, blank canvas for you to do what you wish. So let's go from here. I think we'll check out the foredeck, and then we'll make our way down and show you the accommodation. So if you need to pass me the camera, feel free. You're right. I think we'll go up this side. Okay, so going forward, you've got that step up. It's fine for 90% of people, but I just wanted to point that out. So this is your diesel in. I can see the breathers here. Your midship cleat is here, and you can reach that from the window should you need. But also, I think because these decks, they are actually wide enough to stand like that, it's reasonably fine if you had to come up and do it in some slightly dodgy weather. And then you move forward and you've got the protection of the railings here. And just remember, it is a catamaran, so it's just not like a monohull experience. It's just not as much movement. If you've come from a mono, it's so much more stable, as it should be. We've got the opening hatch just here, letting light into the saloon. And now just imagine yourself up here with a bunch of bean bags and a book. Because why not? How good? But we've got lots of usable storage space. So just come in and have a closer look at the bow roller. Lots of stainless, and then it goes onto the hard plastic here. That's giving it the chain protection so it's not scratching on the deck. We've got the Maxwell windlass, and then let's open up both of these and we can show you inside the chain locker. So you've got heaps of space in here for extra fenders, line, all sorts of stuff in there, not a problem. I would actually possibly even store a second anchor in there, but I could also store a second anchor down in the stern. I could see myself chucking out a stern anchor on this boat and going in super shallow and controlling the boat. I'd probably stow it in one of those aft lockers. But look at this, we can get two more big fenders in here. And then let's check the other side. We've got our foot controls as well. I'm not sure if I pointed that out. We can control, and we have anchored the boat from the helm, but we've got the up and down foot controls just there and there, and another two fenders just here. So you can spread fenders from the bow to the stern and have space left over, not a problem. Now this is for ventilation down to the guest cabin. That should be ventilation down into the master. So I think we should go straight there and have a look. So hold on to this railing here. There's your navigation lights, VHF aerial just here. And then from here, you can also hold on. There's lots and lots of options for you to just grab onto something and lower yourself down. So before we get there, there's one toilet on the boat. It's a toilet shower combination. And I kind of like that it's not hidden down into the hull. So this is it. So essentially electric TMC toilet system with a holding tank. And this is the shower. So right now I'm in the shower area and now I'm in the loo. So I've got a couple little towel hooks, but once you close the door, actually pass me the camera, the shower is actually here. See that? So it is a proper size shower cubicle. And by having this glass, backsplash little glass screen there, it stops water just going onto that side. It is essentially a bit of a wet area, and you do have that opening hatch there to allow the area to vent. But I think that's kind of cool because it gives you a little bit of privacy. If people are getting up to use the toilet in the middle of the night, you're away from the cabins. So what we'll do, let's just go down and quickly check out the master. So come in here. So this is an island berth. You've got these stairs to go up on either side. I'm actually going to do that. And then you've got, so this is lovely. I've got some reading lights. I've got some padded leather or leatherette finish around. I've got storage in there. I've got hanging locker there. I've got views out over the water. And I'm also going to have cross-flow ventilation with that porthole and the deck hatch here, sucking air in whenever I'm on anchor. So that's pretty good, but that's quite deep just there. And you can hang quite a few bits and pieces in there. And look how deep that storage is as well going down. So you can put even some luggage bags or bits and pieces down there. Let's just have a look under the bed on this one. I saw under the bed on the other side. I just want to have a look under this one, see what we find. Yeah, see, look, more storage for longer term items. That's hinged, that whole thing will come up. So maybe if you were flying to the boat and you had duffel bags, you'd roll them up and chuck them down here, or extra blankets and those sorts of things, depending on what climate you're cruising through. So that's cool. So either of you, island style bed, you can get out on each side of the bed, very comfortable. There is a single in here, but I'm going to get to that because that's also our engine access. And I'm going to show you this one first. So this is the guest cabin. So rather than going port starboard, this one's going forward and aft. So quite luxurious, quite comfortable, but the disadvantage for this person, if you need to pee, you got to roll over this person. So that's just why you're the guest and you're not the master. It is what it is. But you've got ventilation through same hatch setup. We've got the same amount of storage here and here. So that's all good. But you're sharing this one step like this. That's how you get up into bed. And good mattresses, by the way. These are inner sprung, so that Dave, this is just like your mattresses at home. So they're not foam ones. You could definitely live on board this boat if you wanted. It's quite comfortable. And so you've got knockout blinds for sun and mozzies just there. And he's got the same opening port just here and magnets holding these doors open. So now I want to show you back this direction. So you go up the stair. I'll go this way. Here we go. So it's a lot of boat for 36 feet. It's a lot of boat. So this is a single. You'll probably, if you're not accommodating that many people, sure, some big families might do this. You'll probably end up throwing your luggage, bags and bits and pieces and storing things in here. Then you've got more space under there. This is also a proper mattress, but it's actually the engine access. So come up and have a look at this model, and then I'm going to show you the motor. What you want with a catamaran, you want to keep the weight in the middle of the boat if you can. So if you're putting weight at the extremities, it kind of doesn't work. So to keep the thing well balanced, it's best to have the weight in the middle. So what they've done, their motors are in the middle of the boat and the straight shaft is coming out here, and then the fuel and water tanks are in this location. So it keeps it in the location it needs to be. So if you continue to watch the test drive video, you'll notice this boat, when she accelerates, rather than going like this and then like that, she just accelerates like that. So she's very, very well balanced, and it's noticeable. I've already driven the boat a couple of times today. These keels, obviously they're very efficient, they part through the water, but we've got protection. Geez, I wish I had a 3D, like, what do you call these, 3D printers? I want one of these. I could make a model for every video. This would be great. But because we've got this protection here and the shaft and the propeller exits here, it allows us to do that, okay? So if you're in a tidal situation, like we are right here, you know, we've just moved into a location where we should still be floating, but if we were 50 meters that way, we'd be on the sand, which on this boat doesn't matter. So that's what's going on there. So if we're doing maintenance or for being social and just enjoying the best locations you can. Now, as I'm sure some of you are going to jump into the comments, this is the future for Scimitar. We'll talk about this later in the video because yes, it's to scale, all right? But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Come on down, and now I want to show you. Remember how I said it's a proper mattress? It's split up in 3. So it just concertinas out. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to slide it there like you're supposed to. Now I want you to come down and have a look at this. So that's the single berth area, and it's been done very intelligently. So this just goes up like slow, and then you slide in, okay? This goes up on a gas strut, and this door here, while it opens, it will actually lift off the hinges like that. So now I've got forward, top, and aft access. We're going to come in from the aft end, so pass me the camera. So we literally have a no-nonsense setup. So there's your raw water intakes. There's some fuel filters. That's the water pressure system. This is a 110 volt, not volt, horsepower Yanmar. Sorry, early start today. I'm forgetting my words. And then you've got engine room light. You can see the exhaust. That is your crank battery just there. And we'll head aft and have a look at it in a second. But I just want to point out underneath the floor, see that? So that's the water tank. Okay, so that's built into the hull. And just here, and you've got an inspection port just there, that's the fuel tank. All right, so it's this sensible little design or shape to allow access here, and then when the bed's installed, boom, boom. See how clever that is? So it is possible to do all your own maintenance. Now let's just go out to the other side of the motor so you can see. Obviously, it's the same on each side. And, okay, come in. So you can actually step on this. You can step there, and then you step down. Now pass me the camera, and I want to show you. Okay, so now I can get to the shaft exit. It's a dry seal, and so therefore it is a dry bilge. And see the space in here, and there's your engine battery and your engine battery switch. And on the Platinum version, you can do that switching from upstairs. So that's your hot water system. And here's your steering gear and hydraulics. And it's all pretty no nonsense. So there we go. So I'm really interested in your comments on this one, ladies and gents. I know there's a lot of Australians who know how to use this style of boat, but what about those of you watching from America? What about those of you watching from Southeast Asia or anywhere else? I know I go to England a little bit and the tides are hectic up there, but England's really cold, so I'm not sure if catamarans are super popular for you guys. So if they are, just tell me. I literally don't know. What would you do? Would you leave it as a blank canvas? Would you customize it? Would you change things? Let's get the conversation going. And what we're going to do from here is go for a test drive. So if you are seriously interested in this boat and you want to go for that experience, click in the next video, which is coming up on the screen right now. And in that video, we're going to talk about your tender options, and we're going to demonstrate as much as we possibly can as to how this boat can be operated by you. See you in the next video. So you understand the Weekender. I told you there's a platinum version, and we actually have one. I thought I'd take this opportunity to explain to you guys what's going on with the platinum version. And Tommy, you're going to know a lot more about it than I. But I guess the first thing I want to convey to everyone about the two boats is that it's essentially the same platform, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we actually have some of the tenders, which we're going to look at in a second, which you might be able to see in the background. Give me a go of not this one, the one with the engine on it. It's good.